Hey there, and welcome back to Blacklist Universe. I am your host, Mike S. Miller. I am a 33-year comic book industry veteran from Marvel, DC, Image, Game of Thrones, all that fun stuff. And now I'm here once again on YouTube to draw for your pleasure and entertainment, and possibly even your critique. Let me know in the comments section whether you like it, whether you hate it, whatever your opinion is, I just want to know. Today, stepping back into the Marvel characters for the Marvel Rivals redesigns. I actually recorded this before I started on the DC Rivals stuff. If you haven't checked out the DC Rivals stuff, it's on the channel. Give a looky-loo around the channel and let me know what you think about my DC Trinity characters in the Marvel Rivals design motif. I actually had a little bit of a hard time with Venom because, quite frankly, they didn't even change Venom. They didn't even change Venom for Marvel Rivals. They just made Venom Venom. And there's nothing wrong with that because Venom just freaking looks cool as Venom. But since this is a redesign, I tried to lean a little more into the alien aspect of Venom as a character because, Eddie Brock slapping on the Venom symbiote, it changes his physicality. He's not just Eddie Brock with the black suit on like it was when when Peter Parker put the black symbiote on, it was just Peter Parker in a black Spider-Man costume, right? That was like, I remember when that came out. I bought that issue when it came out. I wish I kept that issue since it came out, but I didn't. But the Venom symbiote, when he fully embraces his Venom form, it's a totally different thing. He changes the physicality of the character. He becomes a huge hulking monstrous beast, which is cool and everything. I don't actually know where all the mass comes from, but that's another story. But what I wanted to lean into there is because he becomes something different, shouldn't he become a little more alien than human? And so, going off of the alien xenomorph type, I don't want to say I copied the alien xenomorph, but I tried to take some influence from that xenomorph and kind of squeeze it into a Venom type costume. I gave it the ridges. I know the xenomorph is just a big round thing and I didn't want to go with that, but does have a lot of bone and just piping and ridges and stuff, and I didn't feel comfortable doing that around the different parts, just so it's not exactly some sort of a xenomorph ripoff. I did that sort of bone spiny thing down his back. I extended his head out the front, as you can see, and then I gave him more of an exaggerated form of sort of the Marvel Rivals V cut, where I really, really cinched it in around his waist so that his hip bone sort of popped out, his jawbone sort of pops out, the tendons that link his collarbone to his neck and whatnot. I wanted it to feel a little more visceral, H.R. Giger, alien, but still be easily recognizable as Venom, because that's what you want. When you're redesigning a character, you don't want to go so far afield from the original character that people are like, well, who's that? Which, as cool as a lot of the Rivals costume designs are, you do sometimes get that, this is a great character, but it's not the character, right? Some of the Punisher stuff looks really dope. He's got some mech suit looking Punisher. It's that's not the Punisher. It looks really cool, but that's not the Punisher. And so I wanted to make sure I tried to, stay in the realm of you're going to recognize this as Venom, and I don't want to go further than that in the redesign. So where do I go from here, you might ask? And I might ask myself the same question. Maybe I should talk about form and structure and how I get from, just doing sort of a basic pose layout to the final product here. If you are unfamiliar, a lot of people ask me, how did you learn? What did you learn from whatever? Obviously, I've been drawing my whole life, and I've taken influence from real life, from comic books, from drawing books over the ages and everything. But the one book that really sort of changed the way I built my characters, right? Because it's basically what you're doing. You're building, two-dimensionally, but you're putting these pieces together and you're building these characters in your head and on the paper or nowadays on the iPad or on your tablet, whatever. It's George Bridgman's Complete Guide to Drawing from Life. And I've recommended this book to countless young artists at conventions and online and just in person. And wherever anybody asks me for advice, I say, go read. I don't mean just go look at the pictures. I mean, go read George Bridgman's Complete Guide to Drawing from Life. There are fundamental things in that book that you need to learn about rhythm, about structure, about body mechanics. Again, building characters from the blocks and the shapes that create them. It's, you know how a lot of guys, they learn from how to draw comics the Marvel way? I mean, I did too, right? When I was a kid, I learned from how to draw comics the Marvel way. It's really sort of a elementary school version of how to draw, which isn't bad because, you know, most of the kids that were picking that up back in the day, they were kids. They weren't, you know, they weren't art college students trying to be life drawing masters or oil painters. They wanted to draw like Marvel Comics. And I get it. You know, that was real fun, simple. It's a simplified way to get to at least the beginning stages of your art journey. Bridgman, to me, is more along the lines of it's learning the mastercraft from the masters. You know, Bridgman, I can't remember all the students, but he comes from this time period. And by the way, the book is public domain. So if you don't have any money, you can go look at it online or download the PDF for absolutely free. If you want an in-print copy, you can probably get them on Amazon for like $16 or something like that. It's dirt cheap, or it's free, and it's the greatest investment as an artist you'll ever come across. Again, I'm not going to go through all of the bits and parts in the whole thing. It just understand that when you take the time to learn your craft, this is kind of a thing with me. It's like people are always going like, oh my gosh, you're so talented. And I look at them like, you have no idea how talented I am. And I don't mean that like, you have no idea how talented I am. I mean, you literally have no idea how talented I am. Because talent, my definition of talent, is how quickly you can pick up a skill. And I don't think anyone can actually argue with that, right? Because you don't just automatically know how to play the piano. You don't just automatically know how to draw. You don't just automatically know how to play soccer or the piano. Did I say that already? I think I did. Anything. You don't automatically know how to program. But the rate at which you can pick up that skill is the measure of how talented you are. I could have learned everything I learned in 2 weeks. And you'd say, wow, that guy's freaking talented. Or I could have gotten where I am after 50 years of working at it for 10 hours a day and then just arrive at the point where I am now. Am I talented? No. I'm freaking determined to learn a skill. That's the difference. There's a natural gift for certain people who can pick up these skills, but they are still skills you need to learn. And most skills you're not going to learn through trial and error, or at the very least, you don't have to learn them through trial and error. Why? Because we stand on the shoulders of giants. There are people throughout the millennia who have worked and toiled and figured it out, and maybe there's different schools of thought, and maybe you can study all the different schools of thought, and you'll be the genius that comes up with the third way. But regardless of that, there's no point in each individual artist or programmer or pianist or anything trying to reinvent the wheel when the wheel has been invented already. Just take that wheel and start building a new car or building a new buggy, whatever it is, right? Learn what you can learn from those who have come before. And if it's not enough, course your own path. Course your own path. Path your own course. Something like that. I'm tired. I've got Drawn and Quartered tonight, and I'm trying to get ready for that. Drawn and Quartered, for those of you who don't know, is my weekly live stream where me and some of my artist friends get together to do a live stream where we draw a topic of the week for your viewing pleasure. and for your votes, because the audience gets to vote on who wins every week's Drawn and Quarter drawing competition. Again, that is on Wednesday nights live at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. No, it's 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock Eastern, I guess. And then wherever you are in the rest of the world, you're going to have to figure out the schedule on that. So there it is, the silhouette on this Venom. It looks, it's funny, huh? It looks like he doesn't even have a head on the silhouette, but it still looks pretty cool. It's got a very aggressive V shape, you know, like in the elbows poking out and the hips poking out, and obviously the fingers being elongated and scary, and it's much more alien and menacing. And when you kind of, the more you remove a monster character from recognizable humanity, just kind of the more creepy it gets, right? Like the Wolfman, like the Lon Chaney Wolfman, isn't as creepy as Pumpkinhead, right? Or a xenomorph, right? When you sort of divorce the humanity, you know, you don't want to look at a monster and you gaze into its eyes and you can see its soul. I mean, you can, whatever, you can do that. Monster-wise, I think that's kind of a thing when a monster just looks creepy because you can't maybe empathize with it, or it can't empathize with you, or at least you don't feel that sameness and empathy. And getting away from that with Venom, I think, I mean, they did a pretty good job with it where, you know, he's got the face, but it just looks like Spider-Man's face mask, but with a big evil grin, which is cool. Look, again, I love Venom. I think Venom's a very, very cool character, and I was there in the beginning. And yeah, I even remember when Todd McFarlane created Venom from the original costume. I'm old. What can I tell you? As far as the coloring goes, I've said about the Bridgman thing. Look, I know I go through and I kind of explain my coloring video after video, but I'm not the world's greatest colorist. I guarantee you there are far better colorists than me out there on YouTube that you can learn from. And I'm not telling you not to subscribe to my channel. Please do subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit that bell for all notifications so you never miss another drawing video or live stream. Yeah, make sure you come to the live streams, guys. I would love it if you would come and hang out with us live and just sort of build up this community we have. But yeah, like I'm saying, coloring, I do this very, very simple style, and I'm not going to do a more in-depth style for these videos because I just don't have the bandwidth for it. And I think if you really truly want to learn a top tier coloring style, I don't know where to point you, but you know what, maybe I'll do a little research, and next time I bring this topic up, I'll have some channels that I can point you to or suggest that do really, really good coloring tutorials. As far as art, you know, if you want to learn more than this, the Jeff Watts Atelier, they have a channel here on YouTube. Ron Lemon has a channel here on YouTube. You can learn some real life drawing skills and, you know, shading and tutorial. And this is just all me doing my comic book version of stuff. And I grant you, that is a category of art that everybody, I mean, if you like it, that's why you're here. I feel like I'm selling my own channel short. But no, just understand that there's more to learn that you can then fold back into comic art. You don't want to be just somebody copying other people's comic book art. You want to go out and learn the broader skill set in illustration, in human anatomy, in storytelling, in cinematography, frankly. And then you bring all of that information back into your craft as a comic book illustrator. And that's how you become a unique voice in the space. Anyways, like I said, please do like, subscribe, and share if you have not already. We just broke 14,000 subscribers and we're on our way to 15. Thank you everyone for being here, and hopefully I will see you all on the next video.